Welcome to a new episode.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Copper Connection podcast. As always, I'm your host, Chris Bailey, and if you're a plumbing student, apprentice, or someone working towards your technical qualifications in the trade, you're exactly in the right place. Today we're diving into something that might sound simple on the surface, hot water systems. But here's the thing, understanding temperature controls in domestic hot water isn't just about passing your level 2 exam, it's about keeping people safe, saving energy, protecting the environment, and honestly, it's about becoming the kind of tradesperson that customers trust and recommend. And listen, with exams on the horizon, now is the time to take this seriously and start revising. I know it's tempting to leave it all to the last minute, but trust me, the students that start early, who really engage with the material now, are the ones who will walk into the exam room feeling confident and prepared. So grab a brew, get comfortable, and let's talk about why getting hot water temperatures right matters more than you think. Alright, let me start with a story. A few years back, I knew a young apprentice, let's call him Jake. Jake was brilliant with his hands, could solder like a pro, but he rushed through the theory stuff. Just hot water, Chris, he'd say. Turn it on, it gets hot, job done. Fast forward 6 months, Jake's on his first solo bathroom refit. He installs everything perfectly, beautiful work, but he doesn't fit the thermostatic mixing valve to the bath properly. Sets it too high. 3 weeks later, an elderly woman scolds herself getting into the bath. She's in hospital, Jake's employer is facing a legal action, and Jake, well, is absolutely devastated. That's when it hit him. Temperature control isn't boring theory. It's about life and death. So let's break this down properly. There's 6 major reasons why we control domestic hot water temperature. And I want you to remember these because these will come up in your exams, in your work, and in the conversations with your customers. Number 1, scalding. Every year in the UK, at least 600 people are seriously scalded by bathwater. 600, that's not a small number. Most of them are children or elderly people, vulnerable folk who can't react quick enough when the water's too hot. That's why Building Regulation Part G now states that hot water delivered to a bath cannot exceed 48 degrees Celsius. But in practice, we aim for 41 to 44. That's comfortable, safe, and won't cause harm. We achieve this using something called a thermostatic mixing valve, or a TMV. Think of it like a bouncer at the club. It checks the temperature of the hot water coming from your cylinder, mixes it with cold water, and only lets the safe blended water through to the tap with no exceptions. Modern shower valves also have a safety stop set at 38 degrees. So even if someone cranks the dial all the way, they're protected. Here's the thing. When you're installing a system, you're not just fitting pipes. You're protecting families. Keep that in your mind. Number 2, boiling and explosion risks. Now, this one sounds dramatic, but it's real. Building Regulations Part G also states that stored hot water must never reach 100 degrees Celsius. Boiling. Why? Well, because in an unvented system, if the water boils and turns to steam, the pressure can build up fast. And if the pressure has nowhere to go, boom. Literally. I'm not trying to scare you, but there are videos online of unvented cylinders exploding. It's terrifying. That's why we have multi-layer safety. The boiler stat, which controls the temperature of the water leaving the boiler. Then we have the cylinder stat, monitors the temperature in the hot water cylinder. Overheat cut-off device, shuts everything down if temperatures get too dangerous. Expansion vessel pressure relief valve and temperature and pressure relief valve. These relieve pressure safely before it becomes a problem. They aren't optional extras, they are legal requirements. And in your exam, you need to know what each one of them does and where it goes. Number 3, Legionella. Okay, this is where it gets a bit sciencey, but stick with me because it's crucial. Legionella is a bacteria that lives in water. You breathe it in, usually through water droplets in the air. Like from a shower or an air conditioning unit, it can cause Legionnaire's disease, and this can be fatal. Here's what you need to know. Legionella grows in water between 20 and 46 degrees Celsius. That's the danger zone. But at 40 degrees and above, it starts to get killed off. So we have a balancing act. We need to store water at 60 degrees in the cylinder to kill bacteria. but we need to deliver it to taps at 41 to 44 degrees, so it's safe to use. That's why thermostatic mixing valves are so important. They let us keep the stored water hot enough to be safe from bacteria, but cool enough at the tap to prevent scalding. If you take one thing away from today's episode, let it be this. Temperature control is about protecting health, not just from burns, but from diseases too. So let's talk about money, because at the end of the day, your customers care about their energy bills. Any wasted hot water is wasted energy. If you're heating water to 70 degrees and only need it to be 60, that's a waste of gas or electricity. If pipes aren't insulated and heat is escaping, that's money literally disappearing into thin air. Building Regulation Part L requires us to install effective systems. Set the controls correctly, and this is important, show the customer how to use them. You can install the most efficient boiler in the world, but if the customer doesn't know how to set the timer or adjust the thermostat, it's pointless. Part of being a good tradesperson is educating your customers. Take the extra 10 minutes, show them, explain it. They'll appreciate it and they'll remember you when more work needs to be done. Number 5, environment. Whether you're heating water with gas, electricity or solid fuels, you're producing carbon dioxide. And CO2 is the main gas responsible for global warming and ozone depletion. Now, we can't eliminate emissions entirely, but we can reduce them. That's why we now install condensate boilers, high-efficiency boilers with a Z-book rating of A. These are at least 90 to 95% efficient, meaning less fuel wastage and less CO2 produced. As a tradesperson, we're on the front line of the climate change fight. Every efficient system you install makes a difference. And number 6, limescale. If you live in a hard water area, you know the pain of limescale. That white, crusty stuff that builds up on kettles, taps and shower heads. Here's the science. If you heat hard water at 65 degrees or above, limescale forms. It blocks up pipes, clogs components, reduces efficiency and looks absolutely terrible. That's why we generally set cylinder stats to 60 degrees, hot enough to kill Legionella, but not so hot that we're creating limescale problems. So there you have it, 6 reasons why temperature control matters. Scalding, boiling, Legionella, economy, environment and scale. Learn them, understand them and live them. Now let's talk about the components you'll be working with. You've got the cylinder thermostat, placed 1/3 of the way up the cylinder. When the water hits the set temperature, it tells the motorised valve to stop the primary water circulating through the coil. You've got your boiler thermostat, regulates the temperature of the water flowing to the cylinder's coil. You've got thermostatic mixing valves. We talked about these. They're your safety net. You've got temperature and pressure relief valve. These discharge water if the temperature exceeds 90 to 95 degrees. They're standard on unvented systems and absolutely essential. And you've got immersion heaters with resettable double thermostats. These have a non-self-resetting thermal cutoff. If it overheats, it shuts down and you have to manually reset it. That's a safety feature, not a bug. In your exams, you will need to know where each component goes, what it does and what temperature it operates at. Make flashcards, draw diagrams, test yourself. This stuff sticks when you engage with it actively. And finally, let's talk about insulation. Insulation isn't glamorous. It's not the part of the job you show off on photos, but is absolutely critical. Good insulation prevents heat loss, protects against freezing and saves energy. Water Regulations Guide G4.2 is clear. Everything outside the thermal envelope, outside pipes, pipes in the roof space, under floors must be protected from freezing. Use closed cell insulation that complies with British Standard 5422. Make sure it's resistant to moisture, burning and mechanical damage. And here's a pro tip. When you're installing a cold water system in a loft, remove the roof insulation below the system. That way, warmth from the room below can rise up and help prevent it from freezing. Little details like that, that's what separates a good plumber from a great one. Okay then, so let's bring this home. If you're studying your Level 2 exam on hot water systems, this episode has covered the core principles you need to know. But more than that, I hope it shows you why this stuff matters. You're not just learning to pass an exam, you're learning to protect people, to save energy, to build systems that last, to be the kind of tradesperson that people trust. So keep studying, keep asking questions, keep connecting the theories to the real world, because that's where it all makes sense. And if you found this episode helpful, do me a favour, hit the follow on the Copper Connection podcast, share it with your classmates, your fellow apprentices, anyone who's on the journey with you. We're building a community here, people who care about doing the right thing. I've been Chris Bailey, and I will catch you on the next episode. Until then, stay curious, stay safe.
We'll be back next week. In the meantime, please subscribe and thanks for listening.